Hey, what's going on, guys? Son here, bringing you another Division 2 video. Alright, we're going to get into talking about holster talents and exotics. Now, holster talents have been removed from the game, but what we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about the send-off and why this is such a big deal. Not the gun itself, like it's a pretty good gun, but the fact that it has two talents makes it so I know that Massive can still put two talents in the game on a gun. They're not, well, they're afraid to because we were too strong. Now we're too weak. So I say that with kindness because either A, you're running a type of build that has a shield, you're running a type of build that has a heal, or you're running a type of build that has something to do with status effects of some nature, because status effects are the new meta. And if you're not running status effects, then what really are you doing with your life? And if you're not running the baker's dozen, then again, what really are you doing with your life? So the holster talents should return back to the game. Why? Holster talents make things viable that otherwise wasn't viable before. Now, so the LMGs, the only LMG that you probably want to use is probably the Bullet King, because you don't have to reload it. It keeps on feeding ammo. It has a passive skill, not a holster talent, but it has a passive skill to give your teammates back some ammo at the same time. It's just a well-rounded LMG that lets you do LMG things when you want to do it. Now, the send-off is a complementary gun to any skill build out there, right? Because it lets you get that perfectly rooted while equipped skill damage, healing, increase 30%, 15 seconds, what have you, right? Now, the holster talents that used to be on guns such as one of the fan favorites, where's it at? The Chatterbox. The Chatterbox used to have a passive talent to where it would increase the reload speed of your currently equipped weapon, right? But it still had its own little chatterbox thing going with the incessant chatter and the blabbermouth and all that, what have you. So it would make guns that took a long time to reload, not reload as slow. LMGs, marksman rifles that have slow reload times, it would put a little bit more oomph back into the game. It would give you a little bit more diversity, but now skills have gotten so basic. There is diversity, but then there's a way to say that things are too diverse meaning that it took me forever to come up with this build right here, which is a Bloodsucker Intimidate. What's that one skill called? Preservation, right? Which allows me to run and gun, come up on enemies, and put them down before they can put me down. But still, go to my other video, NPCs are too strong. NPCs are too strong to where we can't trade in fights, but they can run out into the open and lollygag and do all sorts of things that we should be able to do, even as an exchange of blow for blow. They get behind cover, we get behind cover. They come out and flank us, we come out and flank them. We could possibly get taken down because we decided to push the envelope, and that's not right. So, but if we had holster talents back in the game, it would give us a little bit more of that power back. I'm not saying we need skills back on every single piece of gear and what have you. And I'm not even saying that we should get holster talents put on any of the gold gear. The named items, maybe. They have their perfect versions of them, so they're not bad as named items. But when it comes to class-specific items, definitely. Class-specific items grant you more, what's the word I'm looking for? it grants you with more urgency to use them over something else. The reason people use the send off is because of the perfectly rooted. If it had perfect distance, I guarantee you nobody would be using the send off over a regular KSG shotgun. It's just not happening. Just more optimal range, not feeling it. So holster talents, like I said, on specialization weapons like the Savage Wolverine, the Sleipnir, stuff like that. Give the other 3 legacy specialization special weapons as well, not just pistols, right? And give them a little bit more urgency to use them to complement different builds, so therefore you grind the other specializations and get those specialization weapons to diversify the different builds. I know I'm talking crazy, diversity, more loadout diversity and more specialization stuff. I know that's crazy talk, right? Now, let's say for a second you only did that. You only put the holster talents back on those set of guns. Do those guns become meta? Maybe. But what doesn't become meta if it's good? You want people to be talking about it. Everyone's talking about the send off. When the Stoner LMG came into the game, it shoots like no other. It's got ammo like no other. It puts bullets down range like no other. Everyone wants a Stoner LMG. Everybody. And then you get a better version of that, the Neg F. You get a better version of that, Black Friday. So you want people to be talking about it. Now, I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say holster talents, let's say they don't put them back on specialization weapons. Don't put them back on there. Not too many people are running around here really focused on what type of sidearm they have. It's good for in a pinch, but it's not good overall. But if they had holster talents, then they would provide a little bit more variety to a build. So, salvage as a passive talent, so extremely strong. Let's say if it was a holster talent, extremely strong holster talent. I wouldn't advocate for salvage to be a holster talent on guns. It would be almost best in slot. But what I can say is that there are some talents in the game that deserve to be holster talents because no one's using them. No one's using them like they should be. Example, Vindictive. Killing an enemy with a status effect applied grants you and allies within 15 meters, 15% critical hit chance, 15% critical hit damage for 20 seconds. Okay. So I'm gonna equip this. All right. We're gonna go and apply a status effect to an enemy. And we didn't wear him down, but we're going to just try our best to knock this guy out. Ah, shucks. The pistol didn't do enough damage on easy to put that enemy down that had the status effects. Let's try it again. Ooh, okay. Now I'm Vindictive. Alright. Now I can possibly take out easy red bars. That's my get down. That's my get down now. I use my Vindictive pistol to take out easy opponents with a struggle. They weren't moving. But it's a complementary talent. What I'm saying is that it's a complementary talent to complementary skills that's in the game that you shouldn't have to sacrifice a whole talent slot to a weak skill. All right? Weak skills are not what make this game run. Weak skills are the things that people complain about and the things that people laugh at, honestly. And I'm going to just name one right off the bat, and we'll take you to it right now. We're going to go with tag team. The last enemy you've damaged with a skill is marked. Oof, that guy's in trouble. Dealing damage to that enemy, weapon damage to that enemy, consumes the mark and reduces the active cooldown by 4 seconds. The cooldown on that, oddly enough, is 4 seconds. People, what? Okay, I'm going to use tag team on my chest piece versus anything else in the game. I'm going to give up my chest piece talent for the amazing power of tag team. Now, last enemy you hit dealt damage with the skill mark, dealing weapon damage, reduce active cooldowns by 4%. Okay, 4 seconds. Let's say it's a holster talent on the pistol. Tag team, dealing weapon damage to that enemy, consumes the mark, reduces active cooldown by 4 seconds. I didn't give up my chest piece. I'm still running glass cannon. I'm still putting out amplified 25% damage, all damage I do. I'm still able to run my backpack with combined arms. I'm still able to get skill damage in. I'm still able to get my overall damage in. I'm able to get my skill cooldowns now. And I didn't have to waste my chest piece on skill cooldowns. Now bring up tag team because there's a skill in the game that resembles tag team heavily, but it's a backpack talent. Calculated. Kills from cover reduce skill cooldowns by 10%. That's generous. It's roughly a second or two, depending on how big the skill is. You know, you can take pop shots from cover and get skill cooldowns. Okay, cool. But I'm going to use that over shock and awe. I'm running ongoing directive. I apply bleed. Now I get weapon damage. I get skill damage and repairs by 20 seconds. But skill cooldowns. This doesn't offer me a buff of damage whatsoever. It's not damage dealing, so why use it? Why use it? What? It's not defensive base. It's not giving me 100% skill. Why use calculated? There could be a build out there that could be an extremely calculated build. I won't deny that. There could be an extremely tactful, calculated build out there that I'm sleeping on. But you gave up everything else. Everything else to run calculated. Right. So what I'm saying is that there are some talents in the game that don't even deserve to be real talents. We have companion and composure. Companion and composure. I gotta be within 5 meters of an ally or skill. So teamwork. Okay, cool. Increase total weapon damage by 15%. Or I can stay in cover and get an increase 15%. Play with somebody. Don't play with somebody. Put down a skill. Don't put down a skill. Why? Why is companion in the game? Why is companion a talent that I gotta waste a backpack talent on? And then, last but not least, we'll talk creeping death. Creeping death had a special place in my heart back before all these big changes came around because it was the perfect complement to Wicked. Anybody who wasn't running a creeping death, Wicked, vindictive build, I don't know what you were doing with your life. But creeping death. Apply a status effect to enemies within 5 meters of your target. Now that target and the next target and the next target that these things have to spread to, gotta make it through all that before the cooldown of 20 long seconds pops up and gives you to apply that status effect. Now, I am using Creeping Death, but I gave up everything else here for Creeping Death, including Wicked, which applying status effects give me weapon damage for 20 seconds. No, I'm not doing that. 5 meters. If enemies move so fast, you can't even hit them with a grenade. You can't even hit them with a grenade that has Mad Bomber plus 50% on top of that. That's almost an 8 to 10 meter radius in some cases. To apply a status effect with a cooldown of 20 seconds, fights don't last too long. They don't last 20 seconds long. The cooldown for Creeping Death shouldn't be there in the first place. Then it'll be maybe a viable talent. Just saying. But if it was a holstered talent on a pistol, I can justify everything that's going on with it. I'm not worried about it. I didn't give up Wicked. I didn't give up Composure. I didn't give up anything else. Bloodsucker. I didn't give up none of that. But I gotta give it up to run Creeping Death. No. So, point of this video is that things that seem like they make sense, they don't. For this game, they don't. And people want to defend it, that there is build diversity, but there's things that click and there's things that don't. There's synergy and then there's no synergy. I'm running Creeping Death without Wicked. I'm running Wicked with Vindictive, but it's not, the synergy's not there. I'm giving up Measured. I'm giving up Unhinged. I'm giving up Ranger for Vindictive. If I wanted a crit chance build, I'd run Negotiator's Dilemma and get my crit chance. I'd throw on the Diamondback for crit. I'm skipping all the other stuff. I'm skipping everything else. I'm skipping the whole status effect applies, grants you. I'm skipping all that. I'm going straight to the meat and potatoes. I'm getting that crit. I'm not messing around with this stuff. I'm not wasting a talent slot on worthless talents. But if you put Vindictive on the Everlasting Gaze as a holster talent, well, now we got something. If you were to put Creeping Death on the Pyromaniac as a holster talent, well, now we got something. Just saying. Holster talents made sense. Taking them away on everything doesn't. Let's go one step further and give the Chatterbox or the Nemesis. The Nemesis had a pretty simple holster talent. While this weapon is equipped, it will grant you plus 20% weapon handling to the currently equipped weapon. Easy enough. That way you could run an assault rifle, get increased weapon handling, or an SMG, get increased weapon handling, you know, for that quick reload speed and aim down sight time, and then switch back to your Nemesis and take anybody out that was at a distance. You had close range game, long range game. Not saying the system was perfect, but they swung the bat a little too hard. Just a little bit. They need to go back in, reevaluate some things, and say, hey, holster talents in some cases need to come back, because these talents now, most of them don't classify as real talents. They don't. Most people aren't using, I don't know anybody who's using First Blood. I ain't heard anything about First Blood in a long time, and I think it's not written properly. But they said they was going to fix a bunch of spelling errors. A massive, great grade A AAA company. It's got a bunch of spelling errors. So, anyway, make exotics great again. They should change up your gameplay, make them unique. They're not best in class, but they could be something better. Named items, they were in a good spot. They're feeling great, looking great, doing great. Baker's dozen is probably going to get nerfed to the ground. People are still going to use it for the simple fact of some talents are overpowered in their own right. But I'm not saying nerf everything. I'm not saying dial back things. I'm saying examine where we was and look at where we're at, and let me know if a Baker dozen fire starter shield combo with focus and unstoppable force isn't a tantalizing build. You know, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that Baker's dozen can't cap everything while focus aim down sights. Every shot you take, you don't got to worry about wasting ammo. And you have a shield that's up to 5 million health plus your 1.5 million armor. Come on. Let's make the guns great again. Let's make exotics unique again. Let's bring back some holster talents. It won't be the end of the world, but it'll add a little bit more variety to the game. I guarantee it. And with that said, all good things must come to an end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.